Hey everybody, just scooped up this GT Aggressor Pro for 50 bucks and it needs a little bit of work. You can see that the derailleur is just kind of hanging down there at the moment. So the big thing that we need to just get this bike operational is a new derailleur hanger, which is a common thing that breaks on these GT bikes. And then we'll probably need a new derailleur because I'm thinking that one is probably not going to work. We'll give it a little bit of a cleanup and we'll see where we can go from there. Yeah, so this Acera rear derailleur is definitely going to be needing replacing. We're going to replace the chain, so I'm going to just pop this chain off. Now, even though the chain is off, we don't want to throw it away because we're going to use that to measure a new chain that we put on. So I'm going to just keep that down there on the ground for now, and then we're going to move over onto the next thing, which is going to be to remove this old rear derailleur. So I'm just using my Crank Brothers tool set here. Yay, got it. And watch your finger so it doesn't get crushed. And we'll pull the old cable out and just let that hang for the time being. So this is a Shimano, let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 speed, of course. We're not going to do anything with the wheel. We're going to keep that as is, although the tire probably needs to be replaced at some point because it's looking a little bit thin in the center. So we'll come back to that later. I know it can be done, but this bike is for a family member and they're on a pretty small budget. We're going to try to do this all in for 200 and we're already at 50 for the bike. The rear derailleur on these have the hangers, and these hangers tend to snap. So we found another rear derailleur for these bikes that's made by a company called Wheels Manufacturing. Oh yeah, you've heard of them? Right, so they sell a beefier rear derailleur hanger. We've got one on order, came in through Amazon. I'll throw the link to that in the video here, and that should actually be coming in today. So I'll be looking out for that coming, I'm guessing in an Amazon van. Beyond that, the grips are kind of old, messed up. Yeah, so we're going to be looking for new grips, I believe. The other thing I just happen to have is a 8-speed Shimano XT shifter and rear shifter. And I think it's got a different version of these Tektro mechanical brakes. So I want to see if those, how well those are going to fit, if that's going to work on this bike. I think they will. Yeah, this thing also came with this kickstand here. Yeah, we're not using that, so off it goes. There we go. So got the 8-speed shifter that came on this bike with the Tektro mechanical lever. And then I think we're going to go ahead and try to upgrade it with this XT setup. So yeah, XT with an Avid lever. Should be nice. Huh, you know, the other thing I noticed is that this bar is also inverted. It's upside down. It's got a little bit of a drop rather than a little bit of a rise. And I think the people that are going to be riding this would like a little bit of a rise. So we're going to go ahead and swap this around. And we're just gonna turn that back over, have it go down with a slight rise. All right, so the spare bar I had laying around was a 650 mil off of my truck from 2010. Same bend as what came out of this. So we'll go ahead and use this. Oh yeah, it's gonna look good. Like that. Okay. That's what we want. So the brake lever is simple. You can see there's a cut straight down the middle, including on this adjustment. So what I do is line up all of the holes or cuts there, and then we'll start by sliding our cable right onto the end, right? Simple. And then we're going to stretch that down. I might have to compress this slightly more. Now we should be able to get it, oh, almost, into our housing. And we're in. Perfect. Installed. All right, new cable run. And I guess we're tightening this up. Front derailleurs are fun. And would you guys believe they use this big package to send a tiny derailleur hanger? There it is. Made by Wheels Manufacturing. So it's gonna fit in there just like that. All right, we're back in business. Let's go grab the derailleur. Whoop. So for the rear derailleur, I went with the Diori RD M591 SGS, which I guess is shadow. It's the dark color, as you can see, so it should match pretty well. And the reason I went with the 591, there's also 592. The 591 should have an adjustment on the back, as there is cable adjustment here, but the micro adjustment for the shifter should be built into this one here somewhere. There it is. There's the micro adjuster right there on this thing. All right, let's take it out. So here we go. And there we go. Cool. Okay, so my wonderful assistant here, Mia, has the new bottom bracket that we're going to install. And it goes in from the drive side. And the first thing we're going to do here is grab some grease and lube up the inside of the frame on the threads. We're going to want to get them all around on both the drive side and the non-drive side. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and start threading in the bottom bracket. It should go in pretty easy. If it doesn't, or if it doesn't want to catch threads, you're probably doing it the wrong way. If it doesn't want to go in, make sure it's square so that it goes in perfectly straight, so that you don't have any risk of cross threading. So after we have the drive side threaded in, we'll go ahead and tighten it down with our tool, get it nice and snug. And then we'll go ahead and thread in the non-drive side. Same as the drive side, it should slip over the dust boot on the inside there, have a nice seal. And then we'll go ahead and torque down the other side. And by torque, I mean we're just going to snug this thing up quite a bit. Now it's time to go ahead and put on the crank arms. So we'll start with the drive side. Line up the drive side. It's square. It should go in pretty easily. Push that on there. And then go ahead and take the Allen bolts with the little seal that originally came out of them. And go ahead and push those in. And that should hold those crank arms in place rather nicely. All right, and you want to do that on both sides, of course, and get those things snug, very snug as well. All right, now it's time for the chain. So the chain that we're using here is a SRAM 8-speed. It says PC 830 on it, so just a SRAM power chain 2. We did go ahead and line it up to the original chain. So you can see that both chains are laid out, and we're going to make sure that this chain, that our new chain, is going to be the same length. So we're going to cut it here at the end, and we have to take into account our master link, right? So in this case, we're cutting 2 of the master link chain links, like the outer chain links, off of the chain to get the same length as our original. Okay, we've got our master link, so I'm going to put one on the outside, and then on the opposite chain I'm going to put it on the inside. And when I pull these together, I'm going to just try to get them to overlap with one another. I'm going to pull this closer to the camera here. So I don't know if you can see this. We get both on the inside. And we want to make sure that the master links on each side are inside their little groove. If they're not, then when we go ahead and tighten these out, it's not going to tighten properly. So I'm just going to make sure, eyeball it on both sides, it looks good. And I like this tool because I just got to pull it like that, and there we go. We've got our chain. All right, so we got it going. It's all the way up at 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's as far as we go. I can't push it anymore on the thumbs. Go down and back up. 2 sets at a time. It's pretty nice with this XT shifter. Multiple down, all the way. 2 pushes, and we go from the top gear to the bottom, and we're pretty much done. So I'm just going to go ahead and tidy up our cable here, and then I'll look at the front a little bit more. All right, so the last step here, we got everything ready to go. We do have these nice P&W loam grips to go on, and these are pretty sweet grips. They're made for wet weather, kind of like all weather. I find them to be nice and soft, and they helped my hands with fatigue and numbness. I run them on both of my bikes here because, as you can see, I'm a fan of them. So we're gonna put these on the GT as well. All right, Mia, you ready to put them on? Yeah. All right, go ahead. So these are clip-on. So we're gonna go ahead and just slide this on the end here and push it in. There you go. Push that thing on there. Nice. There we go. And because it's a bolt-on, we'll go ahead and use our nice tool here to just snug it up. High five. All right. All right, just want to do a quick little test ride on this thing. Brakes, you know, they're mechanical disc. They can only feel so good, but otherwise, you know, for a bike that tallies up to be sub 300. Let's see if we can go over this. Oh yeah, wow, hit the crank, that's all right. We're good, we're good. Yeah, it's okay. I think these XT shifters feel pretty good. We're gonna go down this loop. It is a little muddy, so I'm gonna have to probably hose this thing off when I get back, but let's see. Yeah, it's all right. Going over the rocks. Remember, this is the Suntour Coil Fork 120, and it's got these Bontrager Trail 210 tires on it. Yeah, and if it can do this, yeah, you can do just about any trail here in the area, I think. Oh, it's getting really muddy here. All right, we're gonna turn around. So far, so good. You know, this isn't really a tire that I would go picking up on any of my other bikes, but for this, hey, it works. All right, let me go back to 2, because yeah, 1 just seems, I mean, yeah, gear 1
it's just a little bit light. I don't see using gear 1 much if you got the slightest bit of legs on you. Now we're gonna go back up the opposite direction over some rocks. You know, it does it. You just gotta pedal through it. Yeah. So yeah, you don't have to have a big fat tire to go over rocks. My foot kind of slipped off the pedal there, so maybe that's the next good little upgrade for this thing. Otherwise, hey, for we're all in 280 bucks. Not shabby, not shabby. Of course, we got lucky here because I was able to reuse some parts that I had laying around that really helped out on this. Namely, I think the XT shifters, and we did do the nicer Avid brakes here. It's all mechanical still, but yeah. So finishing touches on this thing. These nice P&W grips. They're nice in the wet, they're nice in the dry, they're nice and soft on your hands. So after we finish this thing off, let's kind of go over what we did. Let's kind of start from the back and go forward, right? So we did new derailleur hanger, new derailleur, new brake cable and new shifter housing and shifter cable, new chain. We did a new bottom bracket on there. We adjusted the front and rear derailleurs. We put on this WTB Volt 135 seat. We went up front, we replaced the bar with this Bontrager 650 bar. We went XT shifters, front and rear. We upgraded to the Avid mechanical pull levers brakes. The front fork was rusted on the stanchions and broken seals, cracked seals, so we replaced this with a 120 SR Suntour XCM. XCM, what is this? XCM, right? So XCM, and then what else did we do? Oh yeah, tires. So we got new tires on this. We went from 2.1 to 2.0 Bontrager connection trails. So even though they're just a 2.0 tire, they're sufficient. They roll quick. They're more than enough for gravel, and I think it's going to be plenty enough for like Wakefield or Conway for sure. You can probably take this just about anywhere, and if he wants to really get into it, there's other upgrades that he could do. If it was my bike and I was getting serious about it, maybe I'd look at probably a more aggressive tire to begin with. Maybe go up to like a 2.4 and then possibly go to an air fork on this. Otherwise, I think this is pretty ready to roll, right? And get this, guys, all in on this, under $300. Actually, all in on this is closer to $280. So not bad at all. All right, that's a wrap for this one. Gonna be excited to go through the next bike, but yeah, I think this is a really nice bike for the money, so enjoy it. Thanks for watching, guys.